Today we'll be peering into the Vale of Eternity as we take on the role of tamers trying to collect the most mystical, magical, and powerful creatures in all the world. Hey gang, thanks for joining us at Tangerine Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're reviewing the game The Vale of Eternity from Mandoo Games. It's from designer Eric Hong.
This is a 2 to 4 player, kind of a small limited tableau building game where players will be drafting cards that will be coming out from a central pool. They'll be using their reservation tokens to be able to collect those, and then they will be playing over the course of 10 rounds and or 60 points, whichever they can manage to get to first, in order to determine who is the best animal tamer in this mystical world.
Each round of the game, a number of cards will be placed out from the deck in the central pool area. It'll be 2 times the number of players. And you'll place those in each family area, or basically by color. And then in snake draft fashion, you'll place out your reservation token on one card you'd like to keep or potentially use for your benefits. And then you have the option of, when you finish the hunting phase, you will pick those cards up and either take the money that is associated with that family. So each family has a different amount of money tokens that are going to be used, or you can place the card in your hand that can then possibly be used and summoned into your collection.
Yeah, your limit on the number of cards that you can summon per round, it's going to go up by 1. So each round, if you're in round 3, you can have 3 cards on the table in front of you. And so as the game grows, you're going to have the ability to generate money and increase the value of the money based on the characters that you have in front of you, which will allow you to buy more powerful characters and more of them to fill up your tableau. And so it's got a nice little growing arc to the game as you play throughout the course of the game. One of the interesting twists in the game is that you're limited on the amount of money. I don't know if they're jewels or whatever they are. They're cool looking cardboard tokens, but you can only hold 4 of them in your possession, and so those could be 4 1s or they could be 4 6s, which might give you a huge amount of ability to purchase things. However, you don't make change in the game. You're limited to that amount. The tokens that come out to you, if you exceed what you were able to hold, you have to exchange them. You can't have them, you got to spend them. And so there's a really interesting limit to the way that you purchase things in this game.
Yeah, there is also a resolution phase after everyone is done with determining how they're selecting their cards. And you will have some cards that have immediate actions, and a lot of times those are pretty powerful. But then you also have cards that have an ongoing ability, so they'll have an infinity symbol and you can always just use that power. But then there's some that are going to be triggered during that resolution phase, and this is where it's very important which card you purchase, because you can get a really good engine going for each one of those rounds where you might be able to gain a 3 token, and then the next card might allow you to, if you have a 3 token, you get 2 points. And the real key to the game is getting the points. I've played a number of times now where I didn't get a great engine going, and I was able to get lots of cards or lots of money, but not points. And the point of the game is the points. So trying to figure out that balance is going to be the key to winning.
Yeah, I guess I said it was a tableau building game. It really is probably more of an engine building game, because one of the things that's unique is that you can actually get rid of the cards that are in your tableau. You got to pay to get rid of them, but that opens up new slots for you to put more stuff into. There are also some cards in the game that might allow you to force other players or even yourself to discard cards from your collection, which are pretty neat.
Bad.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you get that big powerful dragon. I think the dragon race are the stronger, more expensive cards in the game. You get that in your tableau, you get the 8 to 10 to 12 points off of that card, and then it's really just filling up space because you're not going to probably re-trigger it, so you got to kind of clear it out to get a new card in there, which is really interesting. As she was saying, we've played it a number of times now, and I feel like I've tried several different strategies, and not all of them have been successful, but they've all had the potential to be successful. In some games, I've gone really heavy on just trying to generate income so that my 3s are worth 6 and I can hold 5 6s, or whatever, and try to build that up so that I can buy powerful cards at the end of the game. I've also attempted the strategy where this one gives me 1 point every time I'm in the lead or I'm in behind, and this one gives me 1 extra point every time, and so I'm just accumulating points over the course of the game. The deck for this game is large. There's lots and lots of different cards in it that you can do in any combination, in any concert with one another. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I do have to say one thing. I've played with a couple of different gaming groups, and both times when I pulled it out of the box and started placing cards out and explained the game, everybody gushed over the artwork. They were almost as excited to pick up the certain types of monsters and mythical creatures and characters and then talk about the artwork as they were just like, oh, this one has a really cool, ooh, I really love that dragon. Oh, I really love this character. And it was a great talking point in between turns as we were playing the game.
That's interesting. That is true. That has been the response. I thought you were going to say something different, which was usually when I've played this game with people, the first 2 rounds people kind of like don't get it. It doesn't seem real exciting. Like it has kind of a slow start to it because you get into it and you're
start
like,
with one.
Right, you're like, I can only buy 1 card. I don't mean, and so it's not really until like round 5 or 6 where you actually like it starts to click and you're like, oh, I see where the game is at in here. It's not just collect 4, wait a turn, pay 4 to do whatever. Like you do once that engine building kicks in, that's when the game gets good.
Yeah, I did struggle a little bit with the engine building part. That is usually, as a gamer, I have a problem with that anyway. So if you aren't real great at engine building games, this may have enough variance with the cards and just some of the powers that you get that even if you don't build the greatest engine, there are a few other ways to try and get points. You can use the instant cards, that ones that give you immediate powers. Some of those are really powerful. So if you can manage to snag some expensive cards on the draft and then just take the cash for them and get the instant powers, you still stand a chance instead of some of the engine building portion. It's going to be hard to defeat somebody with a great engine, but it is still doable. We did see it happen in one of the games I played.
Yeah, the other thing that can happen is that somebody can be playing the long game hoping to get to that 10th round and like slowly building their thing, but you can get to 60 points faster than you can get to round 10 sometimes.
Yeah.
So I've seen people go heavy on the free point collection type of thing and like trigger the end game before the other player was ready, who was like, man, the next card I was going to buy was so expensive, but I've been saving, it was going to do something amazing. And so there is some nice, like, you can kind of shift the speed of the game depending on how you want to play it too. A lot of really cool stuff going on. So if this looks like the type of game that you'd be interested in, then definitely check out Vale of Eternity from Mandoo Games. They were kind enough to provide us with this demo copy, which we wanted to make sure you were aware of. However, we did very much enjoy the gameplay. The table presence is very nice. Plays in about 30 to 45 minutes probably. So nice, quick, easy game to jump into with plenty of engine building goodness in there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Follow along to all the videos we put out here at Tantrum House. We'll see you guys in the next one.